How's it going, you sexy beasts? Yesterday, we've been given a post showing off game update number 13 and everything that it involves. This is the patch we've all been waiting for since the recent few game updates haven't given us a lot to talk about. With game update number 13, we're given character implants, the complete Esamir Revamp and Lattice system, new faction-specific pistols, as well as the nanite system, submachine gun, and a complete overhaul of the near entire Vanu sovereignty weaponry audio. The 13th update to PlanetSide 2 should be hitting the live servers next Wednesday, the 24th. If you want to read over the upcoming patch notes, I'll be linking the forum posts in the description below, or if you also want to check them out for yourself, head on over to the test client as all the changes listed will be there live right now. This video will cover the largest changes coming from the patch. Once the actual patch does go live, expect a much more in-depth video covering all of the changes. First thing that Sony has put into PlanetSide 2 with this update is the implementation of character implants. This is all up in the air at the moment, as this edition has been receiving a lot of flack from the player base. These are consumable buffs that last only for a few hours as opposed to a day or months. As the implants can only be equipped per loadout, we'll be seeing a nice cert dump to run alongside our normal cert tree upgrades and weapon unlocks. Keep in mind these implants can also be unlocked with station cash, oddly enough, but will still run the same durations as purchasing them with certification points. Honestly, I'd surely expect that since these items are considered consumables, that they should be only available for purchase from infantry resources. If not, the resource system is still dead in the water, which is a sad day indeed. So with this upcoming patch, a total of 10 implants will be hitting the in-game depot, which will augment players with different abilities depending on the implant. The awareness implant will auto-spot enemies that you deal damage to or have dealt damage to you. This may be a pretty cheap implant, but will be a godsend to new players who can't quite see enemies very well. The Battle Hardened implant reduces how much your camera will shake from explosions or when getting shot. This seems more of a convenience more than anything. The Clear Vision implant protects the player from concussion and flash grenades. Gotta love the ability to completely nullify enemy equipment. I don't know how I feel about this one, as it will utterly ruin another player's strategy and they might not be ready for it. The EMP shielding implant does exactly that, protects the player from electronic magnetic pulse grenades. Another implant that I'm kinda sitting on the fence about. Why implement something that nullifies something else? The enhanced targeting implant increases the range that you can see enemy health bars and nameplates. Not much to say about this one, as it won't make much of a difference for experienced players who keep track of their hits. The Explosive Ordnance Disposal Heads-Up Display Implant, or EOD HUD, will detect any enemy explosives in a radius around you. This one seems very good for people who run around in a lot of close quarters and hate proximity mines like myself. I'd like to see this if the implant has a large enough range to make it useful for engineers riding in tanks to avoid those pesky anti-tank mines. The Regeneration implant will have to be the one that everyone will use, hands down. This implant will allow the soldier to begin regenerating their health after being out of combat for a short period of time. The Safe Landing implant reduces fall damage taken, not much else to say there. The Sensor Shield implant will prevent you from being detected by enemy radar or motion sensors. This is pretty lackluster. I'd have to admit there's not a lot of motion sensor tech available in the game. The last implant is Thermal Reduction, which will prevent the user from being highlighted on enemy thermal vision. Another counter to the amazingly hated infrared night vision scope or any other thermal optics. This seems pretty awful unless it also affects the vehicle you're in. If that were the case, it'd be pretty beast, as most people running vehicles use the thermal optics. These have since been pulled from the list of upcoming features for Game Update 13 and will not be implemented. I'll keep the implants list in the video for future reference or to keep track of how implants evolve in the future. If you've been whoring out Indar exclusively due to the Lattice system and rework of all outposts and facilities, then hopefully the Esamir change will be something to look forward to. As stated, Esamir will be receiving a Lattice link system for its outposts and facilities, but is also having a complete rework of the entire continent to be more in favor of infantry combat as opposed to vehicle warfare winning outright. These changes include a lot more cover, streamlined roads, and the addition to infantry-oriented combat areas complete with shields to protect from unwanted aerial projectiles. There's not much else to talk about Esamir aside from the revamp is frickin' delicious, and I can't wait to see what Sony does with Amirish. If you guys want to check it out for yourselves, once again, hop online to the PlanetSide 2 test server. This update is also gracing us with a lot of weaponry love in the form of a Nanite Systems submachine gun, as well as faction-specific pistols. I've got to say, all 4 weapons coming in this patch are freaking badass. First things first, the NS7 PDW SMG. It may not seem like it packs a lot of punch with its 125 damage bullets, or even looks interesting statistically speaking, but once you slap an advanced laser sight on this, it has an insane hipfire accuracy and a near instant cone of fire reset after firing. Bump firing this SMG with a laser sight will become the new fad across all infiltrators, I'm sure of it. Not to mention, it looks pretty badass with its bullpup design and looks slick with an infrared sight equipped. As for the faction-specific pistols coming with this update, we'll go ahead and start with the best faction first, the New Conglomerate's LA3 Desperado. This pistol is taking a page out of the Terran Republic's book by developing a medium damage pistol with a 2-round burst mechanic with a 14-round magazine. This weapon still holds the same 3 burst kill effect as a Terran stock repeater, but deals 167 damage per bullet as opposed to the repeater's 112. Speaking of Terran, they've been given the TS2 Inquisitor, which is a beast in and of itself, featuring a frickin' 30-round magazine, a 143 damage model or 8 bullet kill. This thing is like carrying around a semi-automatic assault rifle as your secondary weapon. Final weapon being added in this patch is the Vanu's Cerberus, which is just a reskinned rebel pistol of the New Conglomerate. Deals 200 damage per shot, has 8 rounds in the magazine. Not much else to say, aside from its animations being badass nerdballer. The last big change we're getting this patch is the awesome complete revamp of every single Vanu weapon, aside from the max unit. Pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, carbines, LMGs, and even the RPGs all have new sound effects. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the new pew pew lasers. Overall, I really love the new Vanu weapon audio. It seems pretty fitting for them now as opposed to the older sounding stuff, which just sounded like a normal gun with a higher pitch. Faction specific pistols are freaking awesome as well as they step out into other faction aspects. Overall, the 13th game update is shaping up to be pretty freaking awesome so far. Once the patch actually does go live, keep an eye out for my more in-depth review of the patch with everything that comes out with the update. So what are you guys liking about the patch notes so far? Mine has got to be a toss-up between the complete Esamir rework or the Vanu's enhanced audio deliciousness. Let me know your favorite part of the patch in the comments below. Hopefully you guys liked this video, and if you did, please give it a big-ass thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs it down and let me know what I can improve on. Want to see more videos like this? Go ahead and subscribe. It's free.